Okay, so we come down to Macra Beach. Hey, there's nothing remarkable in this video. It's just real, ordinary, everyday life. So, you know, if you're looking for something exciting, this is not it. Okay, let's take a ride. It really is just a reminder that it's the little things that prove the big things. And so we've come down here to Macra, down to the coast. We'll take a walk for a few minutes around here, and I'll tell you a story that happened to me just yesterday. It's pretty cool, actually. One of my rules when I'm out taking pictures, and yesterday was no different, is just never put down my camera, and particularly if I'm using multiple cameras. And yesterday it just so happened I was shooting with 2 cameras. I was at the Botanic Gardens in Wellington. Well, invariably I went to take a long exposure photograph of a waterfall, and I went and put down my 80D, just set it on a wall, and then went about taking the long exposure photograph, which was crap, by the way. And then once it was done, I packed up and left, drove off, and it was about 20 minutes later, I was at another place downtown, and I reached into my bag to get the 80D out, and it wasn't in there. And I thought, Christ, it's a bit unusual. I thought, oh, well, it's in the car. And so I went and popped back to the car, you know, half pace at this stage. Looked in the car and it wasn't there. But this whole time I was doing this, I was visualizing myself putting it on that wall at the gardens, walking off, driving off, leaving. Yeah, it was a real heart stopper. You know, you could feel your breath catching in your throat. And I suppose the initial reaction is to sort of think, oh my God, I've lost it. And you do have thoughts. I mean, look, the bottom line is, with all the stuff in the news and everything we read and see on the news, try and find a spot where there's not so much wind. Yeah, man, I mean, the bottom line is, of all the stuff we see and hear on the news and read and coming up in our feed, it is quite easy to get the impression that everything's not quite right with the world, you know. Instantly jump to the worst case scenario. Well, it's only natural to have thoughts like that. We're talking about $2,000 worth of gear. And you know, the photos are on it as well. Truth be told, that was actually the first thought, was the photographs that were on it. Anyway, but as I was driving back, I was rather zen about it. I remember being in the car, and although I was driving pretty quick, you know, mostly legal. So yeah, as I was racing back to the gardens, I was freaking out. But also I had a sort of quiet, peaceful feeling of zen over me. Well, I guess it's a feeling of what's done is done. It was outside of my control at that point. But you're kind of feeling like you just want time to freeze while you get back to that exact spot and pick up the camera off the wall. Anyway, I got back there and poof, 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 over some judder bars and skidded to a stop. Whoa, no dramas, mate. And anyway, I got back there. The beauty of the whole thing was, where I had left it was right next to a cafe. It's called the Picnic Cafe. And I raced in there. The first guy I spoke to, I picked out a guy, he looked like he knew what he was going to be talking about. I said, hey mate, has anyone handed in a camera? And he was like, oh yeah. So yeah, you can only imagine the instant relief. But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is, when I got back there, the camera was there. It had been handed in. So that's absolutely the point of the story. And of course, it's really easy to initially think, oh my God, it's lost! And have that fear sort of sink over you, that sinking, empty, hollow feeling. I'm so grateful to whoever handed in, because I said to the guy, I said, did the person leave a name? And he was like, no name. So, you know, it makes it really tricky to show your appreciation. But I guess coming out here today to the beach to tell you all about it, and just mention that sometimes it's the little things that prove the big things. In this case, that there are some good people out there doing the right thing. And good on them, man. Good on them. And good on you. And thanks for handing my camera. I'm so stoked. Thanks for that. There are good people out there. It's a good world we live in, you know. Something as simple as forgetting your camera at a park can let you know that. Funny that, eh? Oh, well, that's that. Let's have a look at some shots on the beach here. Funny that, eh? Funny that. Funny that. Good people. Good, all you good sorts. Good people. Man, thank you.